This is just a quick tutorial to demonstrate how to work the final cable of round 27 of the cavalry cowl, which is the cable that actually crosses over the beginning of round marker. So a couple of things. First of all, the beginning of round marker / row counter that I'm using is from Twice Sheared Sheep. It's linked in the video description below. I don't get any money from telling you about it. I just know that lots of people message me and ask about it every time I show one in a video or a picture, and I can't say enough good things. I absolutely love these, and I don't know how I worked without them before. They are so handy for keeping track of which round I'm on and which row I'm on, and I use them in all my projects. So, getting that out of the way, let's talk about this cable. Okay, so when you finish round 27, before you work the final cable, you'll have 4 stitches on the left needle before you get to the beginning of round marker. But because the 2 over 2 over 2 right cable with the purl center cable stitch is actually worked over 6 stitches, we actually are going to need to work the last two of the stitches are going to come from the 2 stitches at the beginning of the next round. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do to kind of help demonstrate this, you don't need to do this, I want to do it for visual purposes, is I'm actually going to drop a stitch marker at the beginning of making this cable, and I just want to kind of use it to help you visualize. Remember, we have 4 stitches left in the round, okay, which means we need 4 stitches to be worked before this beginning of round marker appears. And so when we work this cable, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the 4 stitches off the left needle onto the cable needle and hold them to the back of the work. Okay, so now we have 0 stitches before the beginning of round marker, so we also need to remove that because we're going to need 4 stitches at the end of this round before we have a beginning of round marker placed. Okay, so then we're going to continue working the cable. So we've put our 4 stitches on the cable needle, held that to the back. So we're going to now work the 2 knit stitches. Knit 2. And so now we have 2 stitches on the right needle before we would get to the end of the round. We need 4, remember. And now we're going to bring we're going to bring 2 stitches, the 2 purl stitches off of the cable needle to the left needle. And leave the other 2 hanging in the back. Now we're going to purl those. Okay, so remember I said at the end of this round we needed 4 stitches, so I now have those 4 stitches back on my right needle, so I can replace my beginning of round marker and get it set up for row 28. All right, but to finish my cable, I still need to work the final 2 stitches that are on my cable needle. So I'm going to bring those up. I just work from, I put the stitches back on my left needle. I find it easier to work that way, especially since my cable needle is smaller than my actual needle. That way I can push them back on, off of the tips of the needle and make sure that they haven't reduced in size. So then I'm going to knit those last 2 stitches. Okay, so now I've completed my cable. You can see that I have, from that marker I placed, I do have the last 4 stitches of the round. I replaced my beginning of round marker, and now I've actually knitted the first 2 stitches of round 28. So this is why round 28 begins with a purl 2. You're not working these stitches again. Those stitches are already worked. They're kind of the crossover. They're stitches that belong to both. They're Schrodinger's cat of stitches. They are both round 28 stitches and round 27 stitches for the purpose of this round. Once you get back around to the end of round 28 to your beginning of round marker, you're going to treat these stitches like the beginning of round that they already are. It's just for the purposes of round 28 that you've already worked them, which is why round 28 starts with the 2 purl stitches that are up next. You've already knit the first 2. So you're not going to move those stitches back to your needle to begin round 28. Okay, does that make sense? Round 28 doesn't start here. Round 28 starts after you finish the cable from round 27 with the first 2 stitches that are on the left needle. I hope that's helpful. I hope that makes sense and is gives a little bit better visual representation of what you need to do to finish out round 27.